Hi, kindergarten, and today is Wednesday, October 14th. And this week will be our sixth computer and technology class so far this year. For this class, we are going to go ahead and take a look at a totally different website, and one that I think is personally one of the most fun websites and creative, entertaining websites that we take a look at all year. So far, we've talked a lot about computers and using computers, things like the keyboard, things like the mouse, how to find keys that you need, and different things like that. But for today, we are going to do something that's really fun and allows you to be creative in working with music on a computer. Now, a lot of people don't think about a computer as a musical instrument like they would a piano or a guitar or drums, but there is lots and lots of music either made on computers or where computers are used to help make music. Now, the website Google and the company Google, you might know them. You might have heard of them before. You might have heard of searching on Google, or you might have heard of people using some other common Google things like Google Accounts, Google Classroom to do things for school, Google Docs to make documents and do some typing and work. Well, Google makes so many other things as well, right? So many other different products, and one of them is called the Chrome Music Lab. And I'll show very quickly two different ways to get there. If we just had a Google browser open and we typed in Chrome Music Lab, we would get results, and through these results we would be able to see that the very first one right here says Chrome Music Lab. Okay, and this is what the website looks like. Now, aside from that, there's another way to get there. If you have our school's web page open, and I'm going to show you the other way, right? And a mom or dad can get you to the school's web page without any typing at all. You can also get there through that tool that I use for computer class called Weymouth Portal. So here's our school web page, and if I go down using my mouse wheel to move down a little bit on the page, right here on the left hand side it says Weymouth Portal. And here it has this little picture, or it's a thumbnail of what the site is going to look like. So I'm going to click on it and it will take me here. Now we have our categories, and we've mentioned these before: new links for offsite learning, computers and technology, math, and we're in computer and technology class. That's what this video is for. So you might first think of that website being in this list, but it has more to do with music. So if I look down a little bit more on the page, here's a section that says music, phys ed, art, and health. And under here, there's Chrome Music Lab. So I'm going to give it a click, and you'll see it'll take me to that same website. And this is what it looks like. Now, this website is awesome. Each box that you see with a different image is some different creative way of working with sounds or working with music. I'm not going to take the time because it would make a very long video to show you every single one of these, but I'm going to show you just a few that are really simple, easy for anybody, any age to use, and that you guys can try. All right, here's the first one I'm going to show you. It looks like there's this monkey guy in front of a drum, and if I click on that, this is rhythm. Now what this does is it allows me to go ahead and select these different dots. If I select a dot that's in the top row, a row going across, it's going to make that little monkey hit his triangle. So I could select he does it one time, then he takes a break, another time, then he takes a break, and a third time, and then he takes a break. Now, in this next row right here, this middle row, it has some yellow circles. And with that one, that is making this monkey play on this yellow drum. So let's say I said for this, I think of a different pattern. Maybe I'll think of break, drum, drum, break, drum, drum. And then for the last row here, it's the orange circles, so that's going to make this monkey play this orange drum. And for this pattern, maybe I'll think drum, drum, break, break, drum, drum. When we put it all together, we're going to see how it sounds. Are you ready? Let's see if I made something really cool. Oh, I like it. And here I pressed my play and then my pause button to make it go and then make it stop. But I don't have to be all done because there's a couple different things I could do. First, I could change and I could maybe make my patterns different. I could maybe change and say that I want these guys to hit things in a different pattern by clicking and taking some of the times that they hit their instruments in that row away, and then clicking and bringing some back, taking some away, adding some in, and make a totally different pattern. And so here's another. Right? And whatever pattern I make, they're going to play those instruments in that way. But that's not even all yet. That's not even all, because this arrow right here is going to change it to a different pair of drummers. And I can do that a couple times. I believe there's 4 of them, right? Owls, some guys with horns. I don't even know what they are. Maybe rams. These guys right here, I don't even know what to call them. Let's call them blobs. And then these monkeys right here. And each one, it has a pair, but they're going to make different sounds with their instruments. Let's use these owls, for example, right? If I just left my same pattern and press play, oops, it didn't keep my same pattern. I'm sorry. So let's very quickly put it in another pattern here. And let's see if I hit play now. I just made some music by clicking on what I want these guys to play in the pattern. And guess what? You can't really do anything wrong. And if you picked up a guitar, if you picked up or sat at a piano, you might go and make something that really doesn't sound good at all. With this, pretty much anything that you do, it shows you how it changes the music, it changes the beat, it changes the sound, but you can't do it in a way that's wrong, that's incorrect, where you're going to have a problem. So now let's try this. I just did some random clicks and... So that's one you can try out, and that's called rhythm. I'm going to show just 1 or 2 more, but you, for the rest of this time for computer class, are welcome to try out as many as you want. I will tell you there are some I'm not a big fan of, I don't really like as much, but most of them are really, really interesting, really, really good. So let's try this one really quickly. This is an easy one to use. This is called Voice Spinner. So right now I'm going to record something with my microphone, right? I'm going to record with my microphone the ABCs, and I'm going to try to say them really fast because it has to fit in a short amount of time that this circle goes around. Ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Oh, I didn't get my X, Y, Z, but that's okay. Now, let's see what happens when I go... A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Now, as I slide this over to the right forward, I'm going to turn it down a little bit, but you can see it might make it go slow and very deep. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. I can get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it's changing it as I move that slider and going forward, either slowly and deeply, or normal, or up really high and fast. But what if I go the other way and go backwards? What that did is it did the same thing with making my voice slower and lower, regular and higher, but reversing everything that I said, so it was all backwards. This is really fun to try out. I'll show you this one here too. This is interesting. And it combines a little bit of science with sound and music, and it shows the waves, right? The waves that sound comes through as for different instruments, for your voice, for a variety of things. So let's try one. Let's try this. right here, this instrument that looks like a trombone or a trumpet. And let's see if I click it. It's showing me here what that sound would look like in waves, right? And if I change to different instruments, it shows how that changes. Maybe a flute, maybe a bird tweeting, a computer. Now, this is something called a modem you guys haven't heard before, but your parents and grandparents will probably know what it is. That's computer-like sounds, and that shows how that wave changes. How about if I go ahead and I move my mouse around and make some new pattern for that wave? That's pretty cool. Or maybe I'll use my voice. I could use my voice and I could talk up high. I could talk medium. I could talk down low. And see how I can change those waves and how they look on this instrument called a spectrogram. And that's pretty cool. One last one I'll show you today, and then you guys can try these all out for the rest of the time. This is maybe one of the most creative things I have seen. It takes drawings and scribbles and it changes them into sound. So let's just say I drew a wavy line right here. And then let's just say I drew 3 straight lines here. And then let's say down here I drew maybe a circle. Let's say over here I drew a triangle. Oh, let's say over here I drew a square. And then I put them all together. And that's really, really interesting, right? Taking anything you could draw, you could maybe write your name. I'm going to write Mr. H. And you could try to write your name. Notice how I'm using this undo button if I want to take something away that I did. Maybe I could try to draw a big face and some little faces. And right here, see how it has these 2 colors? What I can do is I can actually switch them, and as I change the colors, what do you notice about the sounds? Let's try it with the one last color set. That is so cool. So, boys and girls, this site, Chrome Music Lab, is what we're trying out today. And you can go and try any one of these that you want. Some might be easier, some might be harder, but all of them, you can't do anything wrong. You can't do anything that's going to cause a problem or break something. And it's just experimenting to be creative and see what you can come up with. And if you can make any interesting or cool or fun music or work with sounds as you go through today. All right, so I really hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next week.